It is one of the Midsummer Classic races here in the NASCAR Winston Cup Series season, and for 2002, it is race number 19 on the season. It is the Firecracker 400 Under the Lights here at Daytona, always one of the fan favorite races, the driver favorite races of the season, and this one is sure to be very electric as 7 drivers enter within 200 points of the points lead. It is still a very tight championship battle, and the intensity of Daytona proves to ramp that up every single season. I'm Joe Cassie, alongside me, multiple Daytona winner. It's Trey Bardo. Trey, you've won here before. You've won under the lights many times here at Daytona. What is it about this night race at Daytona that just proves to be so prestigious for these drivers?
I don't know. I mean, first off, you win at Daytona, your name automatically goes down in the history book. But there's just a big difference between the Daytona 500 and the Daytona night race. I mean, honestly, Joe, if I'm being honest with you, I would rather win the night race than win the 500, just because of the fact, I mean, look how nice these cars look out here, and the fans are absolutely loving it, and there's nothing like racing at a super speedway at night.
Yeah, it's just something so special about this race that we have every single season, and this one is sure to be a special one. As mentioned, Trey, we have 7 drivers within 200 points of the points lead entering this one. Last season at this time, we had Chris Jericho and Brett Sierra and a runaway kind of train the lead back and forth. But here this season, Trey, we still have 7 drivers that can realistically get there within a 2-race stretch. How intense are these races going to be as we exit out of these summer months to see which of those 7 drivers can leave the summer with a shot at the championship?
Best way to do that, Joe, is to keep your car clean, and this is going to be one of the biggest tests to do so, just because, Joe, these type of tracks, you know what they're known for? This is the big one.
Yeah, and last race at Road America, even though it's a road course, there was some tempers and not so clean driving there. First, let's talk about Zachary Fitzwater Sr. and Nolan Lawrence, because that's the first incident of the race. Fitzwater felt he got bumped by Lawrence into the corner, got him onto the curb, and that's the reason why he came off the curb and wrecked with Lawrence. Lawrence said it just seemed like he came onto the track kind of a racing incident. Fitzwater is none too happy. Lawrence said, I'll just move on to the next race. So Trey, it's Daytona. Nothing should carry over here to this race, because obviously you can get other people involved and probably get NASCAR involved as well. But are those 2 drivers to watch for? And also watch for Luke Rennie, Eli Bright. You know, Luke was not happy with Eli after their collision on pit road. I know Kukulon and Randall seemed to talk it out. They seemed to kind of settle their sides on it after their issues coming off pit road. But Trey, there were a lot of tempers at Road America last race.
Yeah, you would think that it shouldn't come over into this race, but that's not guaranteed. Fitzy, like you said, was absolutely animated, and I mean, I guess he has a right to do so, because he was taken out of a race where he could have performed really well at, but he never really got the chance to show that. So, and then yeah, that's with the Luke Rainey thing. That's the most I've seen that man talk.
Yeah, he insinuated that Eli Bright needed to get a points penalty to kind of get some ramifications.
I mean, I can see both sides of it, but I kind of put it. You would have to think you would kind of put it on the crew chief for the 88, because he's the one who has to clear his driver out of pit road. So, I mean, he's the one who's really, has to focus on the guy still coming in.
Yeah, it's
at least that's how I'm used to it working out.
Yeah, it's a crew chief spotter type relationship, where the crew chief of the 8 car probably should have said, watch the 88 coming out, right? He's leaving before you're even coming in. So mostly could put that on the crew of the Budweiser 8 car. It seems like, Eli knows there was a mistake made within his team, knows it was his team and his own responsibility for what happened there. He's kind of moved on, looking forward to the next race, because he's trying to turn a dismal season around, and Luke Rainey has not had much to celebrate so far this season either, and he's looking to try and get it done at Daytona. They both have decent starting spots. Luke starts up inside the top 10, Eli Bright just outside the top 10 in that number 8, so watch for them, and also watch for the 5 Winston Noble 5 drivers. Remember, the last race in the Winston Noble 5 was the World 600 at the Lowe's Motor Speedway, where Jordan Stout won the race and claimed the $1 million prize. Well, now Stout is back in this Winston Noble 5 program, and he has drivers like Mathis Wells, Chris Jericho, Eli Bright, and Justin Atkins in it with them. So, Trey, that is 5 very strong drivers, all of which are starting inside the top 20 here tonight at Daytona. But it's Daytona. Anything can happen. Any one of those 5 could get up front at the end and possibly win it for themselves.
I was going to say, whoever chose Daytona as one of the races is a very smart man, just because of the absolute, I guess you could say, roulette type of a race it is, because you never know when something's going to happen.
And if one of these 5 cannot win the $1 million bonus here tonight. The next focus will be trying to finish inside the top 5 in this race so that you can be in the next Winston Oval 5 race at Darlington at the end of the summer, as we'll take a look at the Ford Fast Facts here for Daytona. It is a clear night here in Daytona Beach, Florida. 86 degrees, one of the warmest nights, if not the warmest race that we've seen so far this season. Only a mile-an-hour wind in the north direction and a 10% chance of rain. It's Florida. There's always a chance of rain here in Florida, so we should be fine to continue on and go every single lap without any interruptions. We'll go for 32 laps here tonight. That's 80 miles in length. And the fuel window, don't worry about it because they can go the full race on a tank of 76 racing fuel. There will have to be no pit stops for fuel unless something happens with the race car during the race. The track length is 2.5 miles, as 31 degrees of banking in the turns, 18 degrees in the tri-oval, and 3 degrees on the straightaways. The track was built in 1959, held its first race here in 1981. And some facts about this race: the last 2 Firecracker Ford races were won by first-time Winston Cup Series winners. It was Ronald Kennington last season, who's not in the race here this season, and then Mitchell Collins in the 12, who won last time at Road America, won this race in 2000. So we'll have to see if another driver can get their first ever victory here in the Firecracker 400 for the 3rd straight season. And the last 10 Firecracker 400s have been won by 10 different drivers. We'll have to see if that trend continues here tonight. Obviously, the only Firecracker 400 winner in the field is Mitchell Collins, so there's a 41 out of 42 chance that that will happen here tonight at Daytona. As it's about time to get going, we're going down trackside for the command to fire the engines up for the 19th race of the Winston Cup Series season.
Drivers, start your engines!
The engines are fired. 42 cars come to life here for the Firecracker 400 at Daytona, one of the more prestigious races of the season. And Trey, the man starting on pole, is this number 24, Justin Seidel. Hendrick Motorsports still searching for that first win of the season, 18 races through. And Seidel had unfortunate luck at Road America last race, as he had a mechanical issue under the first caution flag after what looked to be a solid run. Can Seidel and Hendrick Motorsports find what they need at Daytona at kind of this roulette-based racetrack and try and get to victory lane for the first time this season?
Well, last time a Hendrick guy started on pole, it was looking really well for them, and then things turned upside down pretty quickly. And we'll hope that it doesn't happen this time. But like you said, Joe, at a place like this, you never truly know.
A few rows behind him, also on the inside, is this number 45 of Hunter Reed, a rookie in the Winston Cup Series. But last race, he did not drive like a rookie. Ran very well for America, finished very well in the race as well. We'll start 7th here tonight. Trey, he has one of those special onboard cameras for the first time this season. We'll have to see if anything happens around him. Maybe we go on board Hunter Reed and show what he's seen.
Yeah, that'll if that becomes the case, people will get to see how nerve-wracking these race cars can be.
Yeah, what do they call it? The Hero GoPro camera or
the,
something?
The GoPro Hero. Yeah, the GoPro Hero.
Well,
hopefully it'll be a heroic. Yeah. We're so good together.
Yes, we are. It's like we knew what was going to happen there, Trey. But as we pace through 3 and 4, you can feel the intensity building. The crowd is rising to their feet as they see 42 cars come off the 31 degrees of banking, and they're going to see that pace car make the left turn to pit road. Trey, it's about time to get going for Daytona. Here they come. Pace car to pit road. Seidel and Stout are the front row. Watch for Reed and Gary and Matt as well, completes the front 5. And the green flag is waving. The Firecracker 400 at Daytona is underway.
Oh, I don't like this, Joe.
Yeah,
I don't like this, Joe.
An aggressive move for lap 1 out of Conrad Evans, going 4 wide on Hunter Reed, Tim Gary, and the rest of the pack. It looks like Gary finds way in line, and they make it work on the first lap. Aggressive by Evans, but it somehow worked, and Anderson Reed will lead the first lap for AJ Foyt Racing.
Oh, that could have turned out so bad. That was at the front of the pack, too.
Yeah,
that could have involved almost everyone but like 3 cars.
Yeah, that could have been very, very bad. Luckily, it did not turn anything bad. Now 3 wide for the lead to the inside of Roberto Crown Jr. for Petty Enterprises. All 3 of the Petty cars qualified inside the top 15 in this race. It was Hunter Reed in 7th, Roberto Crown Jr. 11th, Diego Lopez back in 15th. So all 3, we know they have single car pace. Do they have the pace in the draft to stay up? Right now, Roberto Crown Jr. leads at Daytona. We're almost looking 4 wide again into the corner as Evans and Chung almost make contact. Eli right down. You can see already, Trey, the pack splitting. I think the second half of the pack is like, what are those guys doing up there?
Yeah, I don't know if you can blame them either. I mean, these guys are going. That's 2 laps in a row where we had almost a 4 wide situation. I mean, you can't risk that this early in the race.
No, it's kind of interesting that there are drivers that are trying to risk that this early in the race, especially someone like Conrad Evans, who came in 2nd in the points, has a lot to lose if something happened early on, as Eli Bright goes for the lead. One of our Winston Noble 5 drivers leads off turn number 2 at Daytona. Yepez up to 2nd. Here comes Noah Clifton, Evan Hunter on the inside, but now they've kind of calmed it down back to 3 by 3 in the pack and a little bit spread out. The front of the pack and the back of the pack still trying to just kind of latch onto the draft and just stay within range in case a crash doesn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, you know, one thing I was surprised to see throughout that is that our points leader was up in this mix too. I would figure at a track like this, he'd be kind of, you know, in the back relaxing a little bit while these guys figure out how they want to race tonight. And, I mean, he's right up there in the mix of it all.
It's like all these drivers with how close it is, you know, 7 drivers within 200 points. They're all trying to get up there and lead their own laps to get their own 5 bonus points, because we know how important, you know, a single point or 2 can be in a season. Well, if you get 5 for leading the lap and then 5 for leading the most laps, that could add up over the course of this season and make yourself the championship favorite.
Do you know the 7 off the top of your head?
The 7, well, it's all the RCR cars. We have, you know,
majority of the Roush guys.
Yeah, I think it's what, 3 Roush, 3 RCR, and then Mathis Wells for Joe Gibbs. I think those are, you know.
Oh, so that was pretty easy to keep track of that.
It's pretty easy to keep track when, you know, it's just the 3 Roush except for Stout because he had that penalty. Imagine if Stout did not fail inspection at Homestead. We could have 8 drivers within 200 points.
Yeah, 2 full teams, and then you got the 1 lone JGR guy, which is strange to say because, I mean, Joe, last season, they were one of the top guys near the end of the season.
Yeah, it was kind of, you know, Joe Gibbs Racing versus Hendrick Motorsports for most of the season with, you know, Roush kind of sprinkled in last season. And this season, Jericho's not found footing in that number 18. Mathis Wells has found some footing, but it's been kind of inconsistent as of late. So it's just kind of interesting to see. And, you know, Hendrick Motorsports has been interesting this season as they still have not won. And they have now Thompson and Sear, 2 of their lowest stars here tonight, trying to move up to the front. And for the lead comes Zachary DeLello, trying to get it from Evan Hunter and get those 5 bonus points to get himself up closer to the points lead.
Yeah, these 5 guys right here stayed single file for about a lap or so, and they really gapped themselves from everyone else. But now with them being side by side, it's going to bring that entire pack right back into them. But, I mean, that shows you what happened between
Brando and Baird must have made some contact off the corner. They were all the way down basically at pit entrance, and luckily they both saved it and had room to merge back up.
I was thinking they were pitting already, but I'm like, I don't think that was the case. And, I mean, good thing that they kept it going straight, because I don't know if we would have ever seen them spin out if it wasn't for them coming back up on the track.
Yeah, and also would like to point out that Roger Ray in the 55 has lost the draft, so he had a pretty good starting spot after qualifying yesterday, qualifying mid-pack, but unfortunately failed an inspection start back in 42nd. And Trey, his car not fast enough to stay with the pack at this point in the race.
Oh, he's got to hope for, you know, an incident like this could possibly happen coming off a turn 4 contact, and there it goes! They saved it again!
But now she has to come back up, and Nathan Barrett, and it's going to collect the points leader, and Matthew Burnett, and second in points, Conrad Evans!
No! Oh, no!
And
Joe, I said I was surprised that Richardson was up front battling, and he drops to the back, and the accident ends up happening back there.
The caution is out on lap number 7. They have not taken the L. They're racing back around. It's Keegan Thompson with the lead. Sarah Kirchner to second. Mark Hamilton, another impressive run, up to 3rd for Jasper. Then Nathan Stimpson coming low for 3rd place. They're all trying to hunt back around to the caution flag, but they can't wreck when they get back over here.
Yeah, I thought we were looking at 4 wide again with Sierra and, you know, Strickland up top, but luckily we didn't. And Joe, I think this is Keegan's to take it back to the yellow flag.
Keegan Thompson will lead under the first caution flag, so that's big for him, trying to rack up bonus points. But Anderson Reed, who started third in this race, involved. Roger was far enough back, but I think he still got involved with the front end. There was so much smoke, I don't think he saw the car on the outside, and in fact ran into that car. Laura Chung was the first one to get sideways in the 9. She's involved. There's Matthew Burnett. He came in inside the top 7 in points. He's involved. Tim Gary, Diglia Pez, we mentioned Petty Enterprise having good days. Jamie Stammer Jr. was back here. He's possibly involved in the 4. You can see the 49 was back here. Conrad Evans came in second in points. Nathan Baird in the 22, who is just on the cusp of the top 35 in owners points. And the points leader, Keyshawn Richardson, involved. So a big kind of mix-up right here for the points. With many of the front runners involved, this could be a really big night in terms of the point standings. As the first yellow is out, lap number 7, a crash towards the back of the field. Laura Chung first to go sideways in the number 9. We'll go check out what happened off turn number 4 here at Daytona. Well, Trey, we know 4 wide is the pushing point at Daytona. They had made it work a few times earlier in this race, but as they come off forward, it all funnels down. They could not make it work. Burnett into Laura Chung, up into Roberto Crown Jr. Contact made, but luckily Chung able to save this, but unfortunately there's no room for her to merge back up, and she merges right into Nathan Baird in the 22.
Yeah, you got to think the grass probably didn't help at all, right? And then right there's the contact and collects a lot of people. And like you said, first and second place in points. Look at that 44 almost climbing the wall.
And look at Jordan Stout right here in the middle in that 6.
Oh.
Misses the first part, misses the second part, and with John Coss, he's going to leave him through the third part on the outside. What a great job by both drivers.
Haas was probably like, well, if Stout's leaving a hole that I can follow through, I might as well do it and save myself.
See some more contact as Sebet Oskin tried to get away from the scene. He's dropped down in owners points. That's not what he needed. Jack Carter. I mean, there were a lot of drivers who are near that cut line of the top 35 in owners points. The 21, the 26, the 22, the 4 as well. So this is not what they need. And right here you can see at the back, Roger Ray coming in. Yepes up against the wall. But look at how thick that smoke is, Trey.
Yeah, you got to think smoke, and there's probably fluids on the track that's not helping him either. And I mean, there's not really much that the 55 can do right there. He probably had it back down, but like you said, the smoke was just so blinding that you couldn't tell where anyone was at.
Well, very crazy crash here at Daytona. We'll go take a look at this wreck one more time in full speed. One more view off 4, the contact made, and right there a great save by Chung, but it doesn't.
It just shows you how quick stuff. I mean, Joe, that just shows you how quickly stuff can happen here.
There you can see all the contact. Stout and Haas getting through on the outside. Everyone else getting involved behind. Tim Gary, you know, one of the favorites possibly to win here tonight. And a whole bunch of other cars that were towards the back of the field, all involved in this first caution of the day at Daytona. It happened early in the Firecracker 400. The first accident will go back green at around lap 10 here at Daytona. Coming back to the green flag with 21 laps of racing to go at Daytona. Keegan Thompson leads for Hendrick Motorsports here in the Firecracker 400 at Daytona. The only car to the garage and officially done for the night is our points leader, Keyshawn Richardson. So big there. His points lead will dwindle even more here tonight. We know that for a fact. And who else can try and get themselves up into a race of Keyshawn Richardson's points lead? We're going to find out, because there are drivers at the back like Matthew Burnett and Conrad Evans who are also up there in points. They were involved. They have damage. They'll be slower on the racetrack. This could open a lot, especially for the driver running in 4th right now, Justin Atkins, who entered 3rd in the point standings. Keegan Thompson leads in this race. Sarah Kirchner's up to 2nd. Nathan Stapleton is 3rd in the 71. Justin Atkins, the highest running of those Winston Noble 5 drivers, is 4th. In 5th place, another one of them is Matheus Wells, and another in 6th place, Wells' teammate, Chris Jericho. Mark Hamilton, only a 2nd start. He was impressive at Road America, impressive here so far in 7th. Pole Series Idell back up to 8th. Mitchell Collins, winner here in 2000, is 9th. And Evan Hunter completes the top 10 for MB2 Motorsports. The pace car is in. We're going to go back green here on lap number 12, Trey. Keegan Thompson leading the 5, Kirchner right behind as they'll step on the gas and get back going here at Daytona.
Well, I was going to ask you, do you think these guys are going to relax now? But it doesn't look like it.
Yeah, not if you're Nathan Stapleton, who, you know, teams like this, they don't really have many chances to win in a season. They know that this is maybe their best chance, if not their only chance besides Talladega, to get to victory lane for the rest of the season. So these smaller teams like, you know, Nathan Stapleton, Chip Ganassi Racing, not a smaller team. They have many cars in the field, but they just haven't had the speed so far this season. So they're looking to try and get up here and challenge Keegan Thompson for the lead. But so far, Thompson holding it nicely because they go 2 by 2 behind. It's the Joe Gibbs Racing cars working together, going to second and third. And the oh no!
No, again!
Roberto
Oh,
Crown
this is going to
Jr.
be big. This is going to be big. They're still stacking them.
Oh, what happened there?
What caused that? They're still wrecking back here. Edwards is involved. He's got big damage.
And he's going to be done.
What? Yeah.
What could have happened, Trey? They were only halfway into a lap. They weren't even up to speed yet.
Oh, big damage to the 22 as well. Tierra's involved. That's... We rarely see incidents happen that... Right there, you would have to think a mechanical failure or something, right? Or just a misjudgment. I don't know what could have happened.
Yeah, Roberto Crown Jr. is the first car we saw sideways in that 43. Nathan Barrett, a lot of damage. Jordan Edwards, the winner of the 500, will not get to sweep Daytona. Brett Sierra, tons of damage. Conrad Evans is on pit road. He has tons of damage. Tim Gary looks like he's done for the night here. So another incident just after the restart. Caution flag is out for the second time. We'll go check out what happened. A big one. Keegan Thompson continues to lead here at Daytona. Well, Trey, we know Anthony Hernandez to be a very aggressive driver, and was this maybe just a little bit too aggressive of racing for 21 laps to go in this race? As he just kind of gets up there trying to probably side drive Mitchell Collins, but ends up turning him.
Yeah, I don't know what he was thinking there. I mean, it's a restart. Everyone's still trying to get up to speed, and he just turned him, like you said, and everyone behind him are pretty much just victims. I mean, that's a hard hit to the passenger side there, and then watch Edwards, nowhere to go, smacked him there. To 29 is involved, Joe. That's big. You got the 48. You got all these guys on the bottom trying to miss it. So close.
Ooh.
Oh, just scraped them. Watch these, though.
Oh.
Bang.
It's like Evans never
Bang,
slowed down.
bang, bang. Oh.
Roger Ray, Tim Gary, Matthew Burnett again.
Oh, just nowhere to go.
Yepes slowing down, but he still gets involved. Anderson Reed will take to the bottom, and Mr.
Chung.
Chung avoided any more damage. But, I mean, that's a lot more cars than what we saw in the first one. I mean, look at this. We have 4 cars sitting over here.
Yeah, I mean, again, it started from a move that too aggressive on a restart.
Yeah, I would say so. There's a lot to look at. This one, we'll go take a look at this record from a few more angles just to catch everything that happened, including, like, there was a stack up in the apron. Eli Bright had an impressive save. We'll go see if we can get an angle of what happened there. Another view, as you can see, Hernandez and Collins make contact. There's Roberto Crown Jr. to Brett Sierra. And watch on the apron, the 8 of Eli Bright gets sideways with Fitzwater in and saves it. And
those
all
hits.
the contact.
Yeah, it's just a strange place. I think the reason no one really got to slow down was because they weren't expecting a wreck to happen that soon.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was not like a wreck should have happened. As we have one more view of this, we'll go take a look at it just to show. I think Zachary DeLello in the 97, who's up there in points, did a very impressive job missing this one and avoiding any major damage. So, Trey, behind the crash, Eli Brett's going to get involved, Jay Reynolds going to get involved, Kukulon's going to get involved, but Zachary DeLello finds a hole.
I don't understand how that worked out.
Yeah,
I really don't understand.
I mean, that was impressive by DeLello. Fitzwater didn't get much damage. Stout missed it. Mills missed it. Haas.
Eli's save.
Yeah, Eli saved. Lawrence missed it. Haas missed it. I mean, great job.
The 49, I think he squeezed by too.
Yeah, Colin Teague. That was a great job by all these drivers, really, to miss it. But when you talk about drivers up there in points, Kukulon, who came in 7th, involved. Evans is going to be done. He came in 2nd. Keyshawn Richardson already done in the garage. Matthew Burnett was up there in points. Sebastian Kukulon was up there in points. I mean, this is going to be crazy. I mean, all those drivers that are really up there in points that are left in it, DeLello, Atkins, and Wells.
Yeah, I guess this really shows you that no matter where you're at on the track or in points, you're not really safe from anything.
Yeah, and for Keegan Thompson, he's been leading here at Daytona since that first caution. He's going to add to his total of laps led. He'll get back to the green flag under the race lead here in the Firecracker 400 at Daytona. This restart will take place at halfway in the Firecracker 400. Keegan Thompson still leading over the Joe Gibbs Racing drivers of Mathis Wells and Chris Jericho. A lot more to the garage and done, including Nathan Baer, Jordan Edwards, Conrad Evans, Brett Sierra, Roberto Crown Jr., Tim Gary, Diego Yepes, Matthew Burnett. 33 cars are left running, some of them at the back with damage. Very quickly with half a lap until we go green. Our advanced overarch question of the week. Last week we had asked which of the 3 Road courses is the best on the schedule. The fans said Riverside with 47%, Road America got 33%, and Watkins Glen got 19%. But now this week's Advanced Auto Parts question of the week, kind of fitting since we had back-to-back incidents in this race. Are restrictor plates the best solution for Super Speedway racing? Should we keep the plates, or should we try and find some other solution?
Take them off.
Take them off.
Take them off.
Do you think there's
why are we restricting American power, Joe, at a place that it shows American power?
Well, it's unsafe to go full unrestricted.
When was the last time you seen a car get airborne?
A lot of times, Trey.
All right, well, that's fair.
Well, we'll let the fans kind of sit on that one as we're going back with Keegan Thompson still the leader. Mathis Wells, Chris Jericho, Justin Seidel are the front fours. Are back going. That time Wells stayed with Keegan Thompson. He actually got away from Jericho, who might be under fire from Justin Seidel. Evan Hunter still inside the top 5 as Hunter will look low for 4th here.
Was the 30 in the wall there?
Trey,
it looked like he was kind of in the wall.
This race has been so chaotic so far. I don't even want to know what the second half of this race is going to be like. Well,
at the beginning of this restart here, I was going to say, look, it's 2 teams of the major teams that we didn't really get to talk about much this season, but Evan Hunter's kind of trying to mix that up there.
Yeah, Evan Hunter trying to get MB2 their first victory of the season. They haven't been able to get it done, but they've really come alive in these summer months, and they're showing it right now with Evan Hunter up there leading. He's at a fast car all night long. 3 wide for 5th place, Justin Atkins, 3rd in points. Right now the highest running of the drivers, left in the points. He's trying to get up there and challenge Mathis Wells up there to maybe get up there and win the race. Atkins has never won a Winston Cup Series race, but Trey, his team owner, has always pointed out he's one of the best on these Super Speedway type races.
I mean, he is. I feel like every time we come to one of these tracks, he's always at least in the top 5 near the end of it. And again, he's just showing what he can do. And Joe, this might be the driver to talk about at the end of this thing, because he was, I guess you could say, the incident of our last caution here, but he's making his way up through this field right now.
Yeah, let's just hope he doesn't get himself involved in anything else, because then maybe they can let it slide. But if he's involved in another thing and causes it, well, that could be bad news for Anthony Hernandez in that number 1. As he's on the inside moving forward, going by the Joe Gibbs Racing drivers, now trying to get by Evan Hunter, right behind Seidel and Atkins, as Seidel will look out on Atkins, saying, I'm the better Justin, move out of the way, and he's going to make it a Hendrick Motorsports 1-2 with Keegan Thompson continuing to lead in that number 5. He won the Daytona 500 back in 2000, so he knows how to win on these super speedways. He's looking to get another one, this time the Firecracker 400.
Well, Joe, we go from about a 20 to 30 car field to about, what, 15? 15 to 20?
Yeah, and there's still some clean cars back there, but they just could not latch onto the draft on this restart. One thing, Jack Haas is back there. I think Nolan Lawrence, the 19, the 7 of Jose Mills. So they, if they have clean race cars, they could be up here battling in the pack, but unfortunately they're just too far back. They might have gotten caught by some of the more slightly damaged cars back there.
Yeah, that's what you would have to think, right? I mean, we had a couple of cars that were involved in the first incident that weren't involved in the second one, and they started up higher in the field, and it just makes you wonder if those guys got stuck there, and now they're kind of out of luck, hoping for another caution, Joe. But, Joe, you said this dude was a rookie? He's not looking like one.
Yeah, he hasn't really looked like it much this season. Hunter Reed has been very impressive so far this season, looking to continue it with another great result at Daytona, which whose inside comes Jordan Stout, the highest running of those drivers, running for the $1 million bonus, trying to get his second $1 million bonus of the season. Remember, he won the World 600 at Lowe's to get his first $1 million bonus on the season.
What do you think he does with this money?
I don't know. He's looking for more, though, so he doesn't have too much left.
I wonder if he puts it back into his car. That's why he's so fast. It's just, maybe that also explains why, he failed inspection a couple of times. Maybe he brings outsider parts in that makes him fast, but NASCAR doesn't like that very much.
Yeah, not approved parts is could be the issue there. But Trey, so far here tonight, they have to try and run down Keegan Thompson if they want to have a shot at that $1 million bonus. That number 5 has been so good since he's gotten out in front. We'll see if someone can try and run him down here.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that Hendrick needs. I mean, the last couple of races, they've really shown that they're starting to wake up some. It's just bad luck's going their way, and it's only a matter of time to see if it happens again or not. Not saying it will, not saying it won't, not putting the jinx on them. It's just, it seems to be a trend with these guys at HMS.
And with Lathan Strickland moving up to 3rd, I think it's a great time to kind of talk about how DEI has been the dominators on these drafting-style racetracks. At Daytona, their affiliate car, Jordan Edwards, won the Daytona 500. Then Eli Bright went to Texas World. I know it's not technically a super speedway, but it's super speedway drafting
it
style
races like one. Yeah.
It races like one. Eli Bright won that one, and then we went to Talladega, and Lathan Strickland won it. So Trey, DEI undefeated on those drafting style racetracks. They're looking for another one here with Lathan Strickland and Anthony Hernandez still in the main pack.
Yeah, I mean, they got good numbers to do so, and it looks like they got strong cars to do it with. It's just, can they pull it off? And I mean, the first thing to do that, like you said, is to get past this 5, who seems to gap himself every time he gets a chance to. But I mean, that's only going to bring the pack faster to him whenever they catch back up. But if they keep making passes like this, they're not going to be able to.
They are shuffling this pack around. Jericho went top to middle right there. People are trying to shuffle all around. You see Matheus Wells dart to the bottom behind Justin Zeidel. They're racing very aggressively here with 10 laps to go at the line, and Keegan Thompson loving it. If they stay 3x3 behind, he can keep that gap, and they won't be able to close in because they're slowing each other down with, running side by side. It's a lot slower than going single file.
I mean, we saw early in the race that group of 5 cars, they all stayed single file, and they were able to gap themselves by, about 5, 6, 7 car lengths themselves, and then they were able to race and shuffle around a little bit. So, I mean, if you want to get past someone, you got to stay single file, but these guys don't seem to want to, really stay consistent right now, and they will more want to try to do it themselves.
Which is very interesting. At some point, you have to work with someone to get yourselves up to the race leader. If not, then, well, you're not going to be the race leader ever for the rest of the race. Maybe DeLello and Zeidel, they kind of got themselves clear. DeLello now gaining on Keegan Thompson, trying to get to his bumper, look for a pass. They're almost 4 wide again back here. Hunter Reed found a way down in line in front of Mark Hamilton. Luckily there, because otherwise that could have been another crash. And as soon as DeLello caught Keegan Thompson, Matheus Wells will kind of negate that progress and move to the inside for his second place himself. And here comes Riley Spurley, who had a really good run at Road America, finished inside the top 2 in second place, and maybe could have won it if it stayed green to the end. He's trying to get up here and maybe win one at Daytona for himself, but the front 2 start to gap themselves. Keegan Thompson, Matheus Wells, first and second.
Yeah, I mean, these 2 kind of gapped each other right now, which might be good for them, but 2 cars versus, 15? Oh, we have a fast lead!
Yeah, here we go. Matheus Wells has the power to get to the inside of Keegan Thompson, and for the first time since the first caution flag, someone other than Keegan Thompson is going to be leading this race, and it's the name of Matheus Wells, who won, remember, 2 races in a row a few races back, and looking for a 3rd race win on the season, and trying to get there and get his name in the championship fight.
I didn't think it was going to be possible to have a new leader, but now, Joe, once Keegan Thompson got out, I mean, we might start getting a little bit of a shuffle game here with how these guys are, but again, you have to stay single file to try and make something work right here. Stapleton might be able to get a run on the bottom, though, if he can get it to 36 to go with them, but never mind. He's gonna betray him.
Yeah, Evan Hunter being very aggressive. You see Jericho back there getting down to the inside. He's aggressive, trying to get low. As Hunter has a nice push from Hunter Reed and Mark Hamilton, and also Sarah Kirchner coming in the inside on the 40 as well. Watch for those Chip Ganassi racing cars. The Stapleton and Kirchner, they still have a shot at it. They've looked pretty good here in the draft. They weren't so good in single car qualifying, but when it comes to the draft, it looks like they know what they're doing in that number 40 to 71. Here comes Evan Hunter. Won at Talladega last season. He knows Super Speedway Racing. He's going for the lead on Matheus Wells with 7 laps of racing to go.
It's crazy to think about the 40 and the 71 a couple races ago. That entire team finished in the last 4 spots, and now you got 2 of them battling for the lead here at Daytona.
That's just the beauty of the Super Speedway type racing. When it involves draft, everyone has a shot at it.
Yeah, 100%. As long as you can keep it clean. And, well, Joe, we were expecting it to happen.
Rando, Ray, Chung, and Reed, also not too far up the road. We're definitely catching the first 3. We'll probably catch all 4 of those cars, as everyone now going to try and fight their way to the bottom or to the lead so that they could be clear single file once we catch lap traffic. Evan Hunter in the best spot, seeing the lap traffic in front. He knows that he can basically go wherever he wants as long as he can keep the lead. But here comes Luke Brittany and Chris Jericho trying to change that as we're going to catch them probably in the corner.
We're going to catch them in a corner, Joe. That's not where you want to catch these guys. Right now, if you're going to catch them in the corner, I want to be topside.
Yeah, I want to be Evan Hunter, but they might actually catch them
Actually, we're going to catch them on corner exit.
Well, Luke Brittany's going to move up right here. Rando.
He's going to get past the 48.
But
oh, they're going to go low.
Chris Jericho all the way to the bottom, 3 wide. He's around lap traffic, and Jericho will lead for the first time tonight. Luke Green's going to try and dart to the middle. He'll do that and get low. Strickland's by, Stapleton's by. Now Chung in the middle, 3 and 4. Jericho moves high, he gets around. Here comes Nathan Strickland, he'll move high and get around. Here comes Nathan Stapleton, Luke Rainey, and all these others. Everyone trying to find a way by, but the front 2 have gotten away. It's Jericho and Strickland leading with 5 laps to go.
Jericho looked like a champion right there, getting around those lap cars. Absolutely no issues at all. I mean, it just shows you that if you know how to deal with these lap cars, it can pay off for you here. And so far, the 2 out front are absolutely gone.
Well, Trey, we saw this at Talladega. Lap traffic came into play. About 4 cars separate themselves from the pack, and the pack could not run them down. Now there's only 2 of them, but the pack is so strung out. Can they run them down in these final 4.5 laps?
If they can get organized here and stay single file, you would have to think they can, but I don't know, Joe, with that's probably 2 to 3 second lead.
Yeah, it is a pretty
if
big
not
lead,
more.
They also have Anderson Reed up ahead, so if these front 2 cannot negotiate Anderson Reed properly, there's a chance that those drivers behind could run them down. We have 4 laps of racing to go. Here they are on the Anderson Reed. The gap back to the pack is 2 seconds, so we'll have to see if that ever comes down in this next lap. 2 seconds from Chris Jericho back to Keegan Thompson, the leader of that pack. Now they're catching Anderson Reed, exit of turn 2. Jericho looking to go around the outside. Strickland looking to go low. Jericho finds a way around and leaves Strickland behind him.
I wonder if maybe Strickland thought that Jericho was going to catch him on corner exit and slow him up some, so he was trying to, guess ahead, but it did not work out at all, and Jericho is in an island all by himself now. But look at this pack. They are coming with a full head of steam, Joe.
Yeah, that actually hurts Chris Jericho, leaving Strickland like that. If he had Strickland with them, it's a lot harder for this pack to run them down. Now with them being, separated like this, Keegan Thompson has a run, and if he doesn't pass Strickland, he still stays with them, and he's able to pass Jericho just to the draft with that with 3 laps to go.
Oh! Strickland's going to walk!
Oh, and Thompson not like that. He immediately went low, and Keegan Thompson for 2nd place. And could he be the one, Trey, to end out Hendrick's dry spell without a victory with 3 laps to go? He's the one in 2nd trying to chase down Chris Jericho.
He lost so much momentum, though, with the Strickland block. I mean, but can you blame Lathan for trying to get some of that momentum, if anything at all? But, Joe, I think there's too much time left. I think they're going to catch him.
Yeah, they're already there. Look at that. In the Spanish straightaway, they have closed in. Look at the run for Keegan Thompson.
Oh, look at the run.
Through 3 and 4. He's looking higher, maybe trying to show his play, and then Dirk back to the bottom.
High, fake, low.
Yep.
Oh,
yep.
He did it.
Down to the inside with 2 laps to go. Keegan Thompson back to the lead in the Firecracker 400. 2 laps to go, 5 miles left. And look, back to Luke Rennie. They still have a shot at it.
Don't count out Riley Spurley-Tube here. He's no stranger to winning, and you can't count out this Roush guy either.
Yeah, Zachary DeLello trying to get back to victory lane. Remember, won at New Hampshire. And how about drivers that could go for their first ever wins like Noah Clifton and Hunter Reed? They're on the inside moving forward, and Mark Hamilton still up here for Jasper Motorsports.
Where's the rest of the pack at?
Yeah,
they got held up big time.
Yeah, they got held up big time. But Keegan Thompson in the same spot he was in earlier this race. They're 2x2 behind him. He's single file trying to stay clear. We're coming to the white flag in the Firecracker 400. We'll see who can find their way to Keegan Thompson. And if they can't, can Keegan Thompson possibly win at Frederick Motorsports? Here is the white flag in the final lap at Daytona.
We're going to go 3 wide for 3rd place here. That's going to slow up a lot of those guys there. Look at the 45 making a move to the inside. Now, Joe, who's going to be able to get a run on the backstretch if there is a run at all?
And Justin Zeidel there trying to get up there with his teammate, try and make it one of the 100 cars to win. As they come off 2, Thompson and DeLello, the race leaders. Hunter Reed in 3rd, hoping they battle. He can find a way around, and another lap car.
Oh,
it's
no.
Kukulon.
Oh, we're going to catch him in a corner.
But Hunter Reed moves low on DeLello. Where can Keegan Thompson go to get around this lap traffic? He looks low, but Kukulon goes low. But DeLello can't get back into the gas. Can he get to the outside of Kukulon? He will get to the outside. Zachary DeLello off turn number 4. He's going to get back to victory lane in controversial circumstances here at Daytona.
Oh, no. Kukulon just pissed so many drivers off with that move.
And you know what? He pissed off the wrong driver because remember in the championship he
no.
won, Trey, who was it that got Keegan Thompson in a wreck?
I don't want to answer that.
Yeah, well, it was his 29 car, Trey. And
oh no.
Thompson might be staying behind him because he's a little agitated right now.
I don't even know how you can. Oh, well. Roush back to victory lane.
Yep.
Joe, you take it from here. I don't know what to say.
Well, that's 2 for 3 for DeLello on the season. He won at New Hampshire, didn't win Road America, but won here now at Daytona. His 2nd win of the season. Justin Zeidel tried his best. How about Noah Clifton? What a career run for him. Riley Spurley to Chris Jericho. They came in with the top 5, and the rest of the pack behind not going to be too happy with Sebastian Kukulon. And for Zachary DeLello, he is back into the championship fight as all those up there in points did not have the best of nights. He had a really good night, and he could be one of them up in that championship fight, but a controversial ending here in the Firecracker 400 gives Zachary DeLello the race victory as he passes the lap car of Kukulon. High in 3 and 4 in the last lap, he gets to victory lane. Justin Zeidel came close for Hendrick Motorsports, He'll settle for second place. Noah Clifton ends up in third. Chris Jericho in fourth. And a top 5 for Keegan Thompson. But he did nothing wrong here. He had the lead. He was blocking the position he needed to block. It was just Sebastian Kukulon in the way on the last lap, and Thompson will go and finish in 5th. Riley Bridget was 6th place. Hunter Reed, another impressive run for that rookie, in 7th. Mark Hamilton, his first ever top 10 and just his second ever start for Jasper Motorsports. That team won this race last season. Hamilton gets 8th place. Luke Rennie ends up in 9th, and Lathan Strickland completes the top 10 for DEI. Evan Hunter ends up in 11th. They had all lost the pack there at the end. Hernandez in 12th. Nathan Stapleton, Jordan Stout, Math as well as the top 15. Justin Atkins, Sarah Kirchner. Nolan Lawrence down here was way off the pack. So we had 17 cars there before the lap traffic. Then 18th on down. Didn't have it from the restart, like Lawrence and Haas. Jose Mills as well. Colin Teague, Matt Oskin, Jason Albert, Jamie Stanworth Jr., Jack Carter, Mitchell Collins, Eli Bright, and Zarka Fitzwater Sr. And then the lap traffic of Sebastian Kukulon, Anderson Reed, Laura Chung, Roger Ray, and Jay Rando definitely took a turn on this race. And now the race for drivers like Burnett on down to Keyshawn Richardson, who was out from that first accident. Would like to also give a shout out that the top 5 finishers, DeLello, Zidell, Clifton, Jericho, and Thompson, they'll go for the $1 million at Darlington next time out in a few races time towards the end of the summer. But Trey, as we look at the points, it's tightened up. Richardson, Evans, Burnett all had bad days. Atkins and Wells had mediocre days. Zarka DeLello with the win. I mean, Trey, this championship battle, we thought was getting a little bit strung out. It's still very, very tight as we exit race number 19.
Feels weird with it not being just 2 drivers.
Yeah, now we have like 5 to 7 drivers, maybe even more now. Like Stout has probably closed in. I mean, this is going to be one heck of a championship battle, Trey, if it stays like this throughout these final 13 or so races.
I cannot wait for it. I'll be honest, I can't wait for it.
And the next race out on the Winston Cup Series schedule, it's only its 2nd season as a track in the Winston Cup Series, and in its first ever race last season, it turned the championship upside down. Of course, we're talking about the Chicagoland Speedway for the Tropicana 400. Last season, a major crash on the restart involved Chris Jericho in the 18, but Brett Sear in the 25 missed it, and he extended his points gap. So Trey, with the points being so close, who knows what's going to happen at Chicagoland next week?
Joe, I can't wait to show up. I'm actually kind of excited for this.
It could be a very fun stretch of races to end out the season, and we'll see who can get it done next week. But all eyes are on Zarka DeLello and victory lane. As he gets to victory lane here at Daytona, he's celebrating under the lights. What an impressive win for DeLello here tonight, and what an ending it was, all for controversial reasons. And there's going to be some very unhappy drivers after tonight's race for sure. And for Trey Bardo, I'm Joe Rokowski. So long from Daytona. The Firecracker 400 is over, but tune in next week for the Tropicana 400, the second ever race in the Winston Cup Series at the Chicagoland Speedway.